Hello, I'm going to make a speech now about China and Germany, and I will refer to the Volkswagen car and a model of Volkswagen called the Volkswagen Santana. And there will also be three well-known leaders referred to. So Xi Jinping, Li Keqiang, and Angela Merkel. Here we go. Chinese people are no better than Americans at identifying European countries and having a rough idea of where they are on the map of Europe. And this is perhaps excusable because most European countries are relatively small and distant, and their influence on Chinese history has been very limited. The exceptions to this rule are France, Germany, the UK, Spain, and Italy. These countries and their football teams are generally well known in China. And the arrival of the COVID-19 virus in Europe followed the same route as many Chinese tourists follow when they come to Europe to visit France, Germany, the UK, Italy, and Spain. So Germany is one of those well-known European countries in China. It's popular as a tourist destination for Chinese tourists too. And it's also popular among Chinese leaders and businessmen for economic reasons, for business rather than for pleasure, as it were. China is seeking to develop itself economically and is understandably impressed by the consistently strong economic performance of Germany, which defeat in the two world wars of the 20th century has only served to strengthen. Germany is now by far Europe's largest and most successful manufacturing economy, and it's also China's most important trade and technology partner in Europe. The annual volume of trade between the two countries now exceeds $100 billion. And one German company that has been in China for a very long time already is Volkswagen, the car manufacturer. Volkswagen's presence in China dates back to the opening of its Shanghai factory in 1984. And evidence of this is the fact that most of the taxis in Shanghai are Volkswagen Santanas. The other economies of Europe are too small and too service-based to be of much relevance for China to learn from for its own development. So, when Chinese leaders meet their European counterparts, when they meet EU representatives, their focus is Germany, Germany, and Germany. On the German side, Germany has a strong automobile industry lobby which sees the Chinese market as the most important market for the future of this industry. So Germany has a kind of economic approach to relations with China. In any case, its political and military ambitions in outside Europe in general are very limited, and this is a legacy of its defeat in the two world wars, which I referred to earlier. For example, Germany's colonial links to Africa and the Pacific were severed by defeat in the First World War, so German firms are less likely to be in competition with Chinese firms in these regions than British or French firms are, for example. And in the steel sector, Germany and China have developed a kind of symbiotic relationship whereby China produces the largest quantity of crude steel in the world, while Germany produces smaller quantities of refined steel products, many of which are made from Chinese crude steel and which are subsequently re-imported back into China. So it seems there is quite a lot of scope for Germany and China to build a constructive, pragmatic friendship on an economic basis. And this bodes well for the EU-China summit planned during the German presidency of the EU. At this summit, President Xi Jinping and Premier Li Keqiang will meet Angela Merkel, the Chancellor of Germany. And the Chinese side will be anxious to increase its cooperation with Germany in the manufacturing of vehicles and machinery and so on, while the German side will be anxious to push environmental issues.